Okay, finally, let's get some audio in here. The brush that I'm using here is just a small Chinese paintbrush, and I'm just using the shape of the brush and dabbing, so it leaves a mark where you got the thin end and the thicker end, and you're just pressing it and dabbing. So you don't have to be a really skilled painter to get this loop-in shape. It's just a matter of repetitively dabbing that paintbrush down, and you just see afterwards I'll start to add a different kind of burgundy color over the top to build up some depth in the actual color. And it works really good. And the same for the poppies. I just basically use the shape of the paintbrush and start with a point and end up with a thicker area, and do it twice, you get a heart shape, and then repetitively 4 times you get a whole poppy. Okay, this is the result of my afternoon being interrupted by this little guy down here. Stays wherever I am and needs attention all the time. But it took me all afternoon and a good bit of the morning, because I basically just trimmed all the pieces this morning and then started painting. So there's 16 of them for a day's worth of painting. And all I got to do now is dry, put in the kiln, and put a clear glaze over the top. Using really nice Japanese brushes, Chinese brushes, and calligraphy type brushes basically, and using the shape of the brush and pressing it down, enables you to get this kind of nice flower painting kind of look. Hi, it's Vaughan. I just downloaded the video on 2 kiln unloadings where I had a lot of carved pieces and flower pieces and stencil pieces, all with a clear transparent glaze over. So I thought, because I've also just shown you how to hand paint some bowls in that video, I'm going to include this little bit of carving, which are the other type of things that were in that kiln. This is basically a mug B-Mix 5 clay coated with a slip recipe of 40% ball clay, 20% EPK, 20% silica, 10% potash feldspar, and 10% Frit 3110. And that slip recipe will only go up to cone 4. So if you're going any higher than that, this slip recipe doesn't work. It starts to bubble a little bit, and because it won't fit the clay body. So only good for cone 04 up to, well, say 06 I suppose, but 04 glaze up to cone 4. And it's just got 2 coats of black over the white clay, and it's been allowed to get to leather hard, so I can now start carving it. And I'm going to use an assortment of tools. 3 of them are from Artisan Pottery Tools .com, artisanpotterytools.com, and then I've got an assortment of other tools that I used, for carving. A whole bunch of them in here. So we'll just kind of play and see which tool I use. But I also have a cold, so this is a really good time to do things like this because I don't have my hands covered in clay. I have a little cone for clear glaze unloading here. Some stencil pieces and some carved pieces. I don't do these very often. I made 12 of these just in light green, blue, and I think I did dark green or dark blue, but these are stencil pieces, so they're very similar each time. Slip stencil and then a clear glaze over the top. And it's 3 layers of slip over the clay itself. You know who needs attention at the moment. He's only got another week here, I think, before he's off to see his new forever home. I'm going to miss him. He's with me all day. He's become very demanding. He really wants to be held all the time. Considering he was just a stray outdoor cat when I found him. And I've got some white ones here too. I always think it's interesting to do the white background with the white horses on as well, with the other colours behind to make the horses stand out. It's a very popular, but it's really hard to do white over that black. It takes 3 coats, and if you get the slip too thick it starts cracking, so it's a hard one to do. I used to do prizes. If anybody's watching this and you have a similar piece from the Sandia Classic and the Tulsa Classic, I used to do all the show prizes for those horse shows. Oh, that was a long time ago. And there's a little seascape. That one's very nice. I did them a little darker blue than usual. So these are more hand painted because all the sky and the ocean, the waves are just painted with a paintbrush. And the stencils, and then the boats are painted in. And the brown's showing through a little better. I tried a different brown. In ones I did recently, the glaze absorbed the brown. This one it didn't. And some of the carved. These have a real texture to them because they are carvings. So you can feel the actual pattern as well as seeing it. It's snowing outside today, but not much accumulation, but it's been snowing most of the day with a very fine snow. I actually had me carving these in a video, so these are the ones coming out of the kiln. You want to hear what's making the noise? He's down there. He's just waiting for me. Okay, the next layer down, we've got some more of the carved whales. And some more crows. I sold out of my carved mugs last year, midsummer, and I did not have time to replace them until just in this last month. So I'm trying to build up enough inventory this year so at least I won't sell out of them, because they're very time consuming to do. But I also got out of doing an order. One of the coffee places I sold to, I decided not to do it anymore and passed it on to another potter in Lunenburg, who's now making the mugs for the barn in Mahone Bay. It was just too much in the summer, and getting an order for 100 coffee mugs when I was running out of my own for the gallery. There we go. These are really nice seascape mugs too. And a few more horse mugs now. Blue is the most favorite kind of color that I do, so there's something underneath the handle there I can feel. It's not sharp. It's like a little blowout came out. When I do these, I have to run my hand over and make sure there's no sharp areas, because the stencils come off. So if there is, I just take a little bit of emery paper and just rub it a little bit. Because when you've got this many layers of stencils, you can really end up with a texture. I've been painting a lot of flowers this week. Those are probably going to be in the video too. Or at least if not this one, a different one. But last layer down. I just fed the birds outside the window to distract Hamish, because he was wanting lots of attention. So I fed the seagulls, the crows, and the pigeons. And he sits and hides underneath a little covering I put by the window. I thought I put it there for him to sleep on top of, but he climbs underneath it to hide from the birds. And then he bangs his nose on the window as he charges the window. It's funny. I actually will put that in a video, because it's really humorous to watch him charge the window and then bang into it. He only did it really once before he realized it was a window. Very nice. These seascape mugs, the best ones I've done for a long time. Sometimes I paint them much paler blue. I'll give you a close-up. Another one of the white horse mugs. Here's a close-up of that, so you can literally see the edges. Make sure you can see it properly there or not. So these are three-dimensional mugs in a sense, because you can feel the texture. I suppose you could actually do a set of braille type pottery doing a technique like this. So that the canisters would be labeled with a carving for sugar, flour, tea. If anybody's interested in any of these mugs, just email me. The email's at the end of every video. I think it's actually at the beginning too, but mostly I think it comes at the end of every video. I don't do much on my website. I kind of gave up on that as a sales tool. I just keep it for record keeping, just to have a website. And I sell most of my pieces right out of my showroom. It's the easiest way of doing it. Less packing. But I just mailed one to Florida. Oh, actually, I just mailed 2 mugs to Florida. I think his name was Andy. Thank you very much, Andy.